Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love After Lockup, Season 6, Episode 15.
We need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. You ready to get through this craziness, Blair?
I'm ready.
Let's go, please.
We start with Will and Courtney. Courtney is at her new house that she got through Mark. She has a roommate. Will calls Courtney and tells her he spoke with a divorce attorney and she needs to complete this divorce paperwork. Courtney doesn't plan on signing because she's upset that the ring wasn't real.
Okay.
Will said that it was real. He spent $10,000 for it, but he tells us in the confessional he got it online. He didn't get any type of appraisal paperwork. So there's no confirmation the ring is real.
Exactly. Like it just shows that y'all are a joke. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you married her off of the little time you knew her and then all of a sudden surprised that she's a criminal. There's one point of basically, what is her name, Courtney? Mm-hmm. There's one point of this conversation that they're going to have till she was like, I have never been trustworthy. I've never been easy to talk to. I've never been this. I've never been that. And I'm like, she knows that.
Yeah.
And she feels like because she's never been, she feels like she don't ever have to show up differently. You know what? I can show up the same way. It is what it is because this is how I've been getting by. And guess what? Somebody chose to marry that. Mm-hmm. And you were the fool. Not only were you the fool to marry her, you were the fool to actually get a ring offline for $10,000. The whole point of going online is to find a deal.
And I'm such like a person who I do not believe in marrying potential. I believe in...
What?
I don't.
So I'm greatness already? Okay.
I believe that if the person that you marry were not to change from the day that you met them, then and you would be okay with that, mm-hmm. then you should go ahead and marry that person. It doesn't mean that they have the most money. It doesn't mean that they are the most successful or whatever the case may be, but is the character of the person, have they shown themselves to be consistent enough in who they are for you to trust your life with that person? Yeah. And that's my true belief. Is this person a hard worker enough that's able to provide for themselves first before you get into a marriage with them and expect them to be able to pull their weight? Mm-hmm. So those are the things that I was looking for when it came to getting married. And I didn't necessarily put it on, Chris to, be all of the things that he intends to be in his life at that moment. But because of who you are and who I know you to be and who you've shown yourself to be, mm-hmm. this is something that, we can do great things with, and I feel like with Will, you never saw Courtney be the person that you wanted her to be.
Facts.
So there's no reason why you would have decided to marry her thinking that she would be anything different. I just don't agree with that.
So you went online and bought a $10,000 ring for
mm-hmm.
whatever. You could have went in person and got a ring cheaper, mm-hmm. right? But it seemed like you did more work in buying bondage cords, bungee cords, all these type of things,
everything, swings
to set the room up than actual like making sure the ring was real. Mm-hmm. Let's keep going.
So Will is back in Portland. He's talking about how he has all these great memories of being back in Portland. And I said to Chris at the time, I was like, "What? That one weekend in 2 days?
Pretty much.
All these great memories? Oh my goodness!" So he shows up to her house, yelling, talking about he was calling her for 2 days. She shuts the door in his face.
Yeah.
She ends up coming out and he hands her the papers and she rips them up. Mm-hmm. She's upset because he didn't give her a chance to improve. She doesn't know how healthy relationships work. She's never been in a healthy relationship. She's mm-hmm. never had great communication. And she feels like she needed more time to be able to learn how to be those things. And he asked her who she's been sleeping with. And that's where we end.
Will, this is your fault. Mm-hmm. Let's start at A instead of starting at letter L, mm-hmm. right? A, you went to findagirlfriendinprison.com and look at these prisoners. I want that one. Mm-hmm. That's your first mistake.
Yeah.
So don't try to make how Courtney moving is weird mm-hmm. when you're really the weirdo in this as well, mm-hmm. right? These are two weirdos having a weird off on our TV screen and things.
It's a weird off. I love that.
So that's why I'm like, he over there, she rips the paper. He like, I got copies. I'm like, it doesn't matter, right? The fact that you're willing to, you didn't take marriage that serious enough for you to actually, do your own research and to actually build something. So guess what? I'm not going to take your divorce request seriously. I'm going to rip up every copy you bring out that car. I'm going to give it back to the earth, okay? I'm going to rip it and leave it right there on the ground.
Mm-hmm. So we move to Brooke and JK.
My favorite scene of the night.
Brooke meets up with Alex and Brooke is trying to Okay. Brooke's intention was to get the information from Alex to find out if she really miscarried JK's baby.
That's what she told us.
That's what she said her intention was.
Yeah.
When she saw Alex, she told her she looked like trash. She needs to leave her man alone. And, she's talking about how Bonnie said that this is what happened. And Alex told her, don't trust Bonnie. She didn't even say she was sleeping with JK. And she talks to JK because they're cool. Brooke asked her, who did she have the miscarriage by? You don't know? Oh, that's what happened to girls like you. She gets to Alex's face, hits her in the face, and they get to fighting.
Yeah.
Alex, once they get broken apart, says that she moved on and she's not entertaining this conversation with Brooke. If she wants to know something, ask JK. Brooke will end things with JK if she does find any real proof. Now, Alex is in her car. Brooke is over here yelling, hollering, talking about, oh, she locked the door, she's scary, and how could he want somebody like that when she's all big and all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Brooke, y'all not that far apart.
Literally.
And I'm not trying to say that to be funny. I'm just trying to say the fact of y'all not that far apart.
Literally 1 3-day weekend and y'all almost twins.
Yes. So I'm like, that's crazy for you to say being as close as you are.
Yeah.
So Alex confirmed that she was pregnant with JK's baby and he knew to production. Brooke ends up calling JK and tells him that she met up with Alex, smacked her around a little bit.
Okay.
And she tells him, y'all did good with keeping me out the loop of what's going on. JK denies the situation and she tells him that he actually sounds like he's messed up, like he could be on something.
Listen here. For like this next couple, can we save them for last? Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Brooke and this Alex thing. First of all, how did you start the fight by throwing the first punch, but by the end of the fight, you're on the ground?
How you end up on the ground and you still talking trash? That's crazy.
Right? Talk about you smacked her up a little bit. Word. Right? First of all, you came up there and you're like, you look a mess. Listen here. I have a theory that it's not even a theory. It's based on what we see on these shows, right? If you're willing to be with a guy like JK, y'all are really the same, like what is that saying? The same side, the same coin, the same side.
Two sides of
the same coin.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's no difference. If Alex looks like that, right? Let's not forget you was in basically a hospital bed with JK, living with his mama, having sex.
Yes.
A bed that had rails on it.
Holding on to the rails.
You get what I'm saying? So if you gonna call her trash, then guess what? Y'all both in the same dumpster.
And she over here running behind this girl, running behind JK. Where are her boys? I guess with her mom.
Who knows?
She ain't got no job. I'm just like, Brooke, you're not really stunting on nobody.
No.
What, you have a house and you're able to kick somebody out your house? How long are you going to have that house without a job? So,
exactly.
Brooke is a little too big for her britches for me now.
But it's almost like it's the same mentality of when you grow up in the hood and in the ghetto. You never see a ghetto unite and be like, you know what? Let's ride at dawn to the good communities and rob them. They rob each other.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because they're like, there's somebody here broker than me that I could take advantage of. And that's all I saw here. I just saw like a time to where she expected to see Alex and truth be told, this what it was. She knew that JK was messing around with Alex behind her back, right? That's how she lost her job, right?
Yeah.
And then when she saw Alex, she's like, listen, you gonna mess around with this girl? You gonna do that with this girl? Because she feels like she's fine and everything, or at least she feels like she looks better than Alex and things like that. And granted, Alex just miscarriage. Who knows what she's going through, right? But it's the whole idea that, hey, she's now mad at JK because guess what? If you're messing with girls like this, then subliminally you're telling me that I'm girls like this. And I'm like, yes. Yes. Y'all are two sides of the same coin. And I love the conversation she had with JK, basically talking about I smacked your girl up a little bit. You got one smack in and then you was on the floor.
Yes.
You know, it did sound like, in my opinion, JK was, because when she was asking him direct questions, he wasn't really answering. It did kind of sound like he was in the middle of being high or doing whatever he was doing. He said he was at 7-Eleven, but truth be told, he got caught, and I think he's done with Brooke, to be honest, in my opinion.
So we move on to Daniel and Bianca.
Yes.
Daniel is still at the bar ignoring Bianca's calls.
Okay.
She is contributing to making him want to drink. He orders a Long Island and his friends dap him up, tell him to do it, bro. He got off light in his court case, so he feels like he wants to celebrate.
Yeah.
Bianca shows up to the bar as he is taking a shot.
Stop right there for a second. These are not your friends?
Absolutely not.
Because I don't understand how they don't understand that he's alcoholic. Yeah. To the point where this is one of the reasons why he was in jail. Like, he's part of program.
He has a breathalyzer on his car.
Yeah,
like, come on, y'all.
So for them to say something like 1 doesn't mean 10, 1 doesn't mean 3, 1 mean ones, and then after,
not for him.
And then after that, that's the thing about it. His life when it comes to alcohol is such on a tightrope to where he literally cannot drink one. But it goes back to, if you go to Love After Lockup, to where he gets out of jail, and that's why his family wanted him to live with them, because the father is on the same tightrope.
Yeah.
And Bianca, and they basically asked Bianca, hey, are you willing to give up alcohol because it's that serious? I understand this is not your journey, and you have the freedom to basically opt out. But if you're going to opt in and be serious with Daniel, his name is Daniel, right? Yeah. You need to give up alcohol because it's that serious for him.
He can't be around it.
So this is the equivalent of, I don't want to say the game is rigged against Daniel, because you will hope that because this is a sickness. So I want to give some type of empathy while at the same time giving Daniel full accountability, right? He's sick. You know, he's sick in the head, right? But, and it can feel like the walls are enclosing in on you, because at the end of the day, you have a girl who doesn't care about your journey, Bianca, right? You have guys who doesn't even reinforce your journey,
encouraging you to drink.
So now it almost feels like the game is rigged against you to fail. Yeah. Right. But that's where you need to take accountability and actually be like, you know what? I'm leaving. I need to go. You shouldn't have even met up with them at the bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, even though I could acknowledge that he's sick and the walls may be closing in on him, and it may sound like a good idea, because he did not only take that Long Island drink. He took he had some of a beer. He took a shot. So one doesn't mean one with Daniel. And the friend should have knew that. One friend did know that while he was giving a confessional, and he was like, but you know, he should deserve one. I'm like, how are you talking out of both sides of your mouth here? But yeah.
So she is shocked that he's drinking because he's an alcoholic, and he tells her he is a drug addict. He is not an alcoholic, and he knows how to control it.
See, look, it already got him.
So the drinking is against his parole because he had a DUI, but he doesn't feel good about the relationship right now. He wanted space. He didn't want her to be calling and texting him, and she asked, well, how would you feel if you were in my situation? He said, if you wanted space, I would not be blowing up your phone.
Okay.
He's overwhelmed that he is all that she has, and she's not trying to meet new people. So they get into her car. He starts calling her the B word. She doesn't cook or clean without being asked, and he tells her he's going to jump out the car at the next red light.
Okay.
She ends up pulling over, and he gets out. So I think that everything is just coming to a head for Daniel. I've wished that Daniel would have listened to his family about breaking up with her in the moment. And I will say, Bianca has made strides to be sober. And I think that is a support to Daniel, but she is still a very difficult person to live with and to be around. If he doesn't answer your phone the first couple of times, then you need to allow him the space to figure it out, whatever he needs to do.
Yeah.
And if you can't stand to give him the space for him to figure it out, then you might need to move back to Florida. If you can't work this relationship the way that y'all need to for it to actually be healthy. But I think that she is very difficult, and I think she stresses him out, but Daniel needs to do better at protecting himself. And I will say, yes, he has a disease, so he will go back to those crutches. But even when they were talking, he was just like, look, I had one drink. And then he's like, okay, I had some drinks on one day. So it's just like the goalpost is moving. Yeah. And I think that it is dangerous for him. It's dangerous for his life. It's dangerous for his freedom. And I wish that Bianca, if she really loved and cared for Daniel,
she don't.
Instead of selfishly wanting him or wanting to be with him, I wish she would see that this isn't working and is putting him in a bad path and free him. But ultimately, it's his life for him to free himself.
You need to understand. You need to understand something, viewers and Blair.
Yes.
Right. These people who are outside of prison is choosing to talk to people in prison because they feel like, you know what, I can buy myself a prisoner. The reason why Bianca was talking to this guy is because you know what? When he gets out, we go move wherever he is and things like that. And guess what? He's all mine. You know what I'm saying? You owe me. That's usually the conversation you hear throughout the seasons of the show. You owe me. No one made you talk. No one made you become a friend buddy, a male buddy to these prisoners and things of that nature. But what happens is it seems like it's a hand in hand. It's a relationship to where the prisoner sometimes is playing the person on the outside because they need money. You know what I mean? They need some type of comfort, while the person on the outside is basically some type of, weird in the head, and they end up getting the prisoner, and then that's when the prisoner gets out. Then all of a sudden, they become a prisoner to the person that they dating.
Yeah.
So it's just a weird off on all accounts and things like that. But yeah, Daniel don't care about his freedom. He don't care about his sanctity. He don't care about any of that, because at the end of the day, he would have went with his parents.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he may have felt like he owed Bianca, because guess what? Bianca doesn't hold her tongue. You owe me.
Yeah, exactly. She's not going to just be like, oh, we're good. You do what's best for you.
This is best for you.
No,
you owe me.
She's going to tell you, you do owe me.
Yeah, exactly.
So we move on to Troy and Zaria.
Yeah.
There's not a place he feels like he can call home in Buffalo. Everyone there is, unalived or in jail. His father passed away when he was incarcerated, and he attended his dad's funeral in shackles. His only reason really to be there is for Troy. And sister says that, just so you know, you do have a place here in our family home.
Okay.
Sis does tell him to speak to Yana about co-parenting because they're only hurting their daughter. And Troy says Yana uses their daughter as a pawn. She told him he could only see his daughter if he was anti-Zaria. He doesn't feel a need to talk to Yana, and he just wants to see his daughter. Now, I don't know if they've had other conversations, which they might have had, but the scene that they decided to show us when Yana was talking to him was saying that we need to be on a good page before I can just let my daughter come over to your house with your new wife. Like, we're not even cool. Like, we need to work on this relationship, this co-parenting relationship, so that way I can trust you to be alone with our daughter, in this household.
Yeah.
So him saying anti-Zaria, I'm like, yes.
I think it's true though.
I think it's true, but at the same time, I think that he's not putting in enough work to try to smooth things over.
Maybe, but I do remember the scene to where he was supposed to pick him up from the train station, and Zaria got mad at him and took the car and basically was like, "You're not gonna go. You're not gonna go pick up your mother."
And if I was your daughter, I'd be anti-Zaria.
And guess what? You will never have your child. Then you will never. There will never be a time to where I would send my child over there, because I did that.
Yeah,
I actually did. That's why I'm like, I can believe that Yana said that, because guess what? When Zaria and them met the first time and things like that, Zaria was kind of standoffish, sitting down in the backyard by herself, want to be fake nice and things of that nature. But then I actually did send my daughter on the train with, the grandmother and things like that. And guess what? Hours late.
Y'all didn't pick her up.
Almost didn't. Matter of fact, y'all didn't get it in time, because you and Zaria got into it, and then that affected who? The baby.
Right.
So guess what? I will never send my babies to Syracuse or like wherever, Buffalo, wherever they at, because I tried that already. So I kind of agree with Yana in a way.
Yeah. So Z has been there for Troy, and she feels like he isn't being there for her.
Yeah.
She calls him to talk about how he left the house, and he doesn't want anyone bothering him today. Zaria tells him in order to see his daughter, he is going to have to go with the flow and to co-parent with Yana. Either go to court or face Yana head on. She tells him, you're in Buffalo right now, so just have the conversation and move forward. He tells his sister to call Yana and ask if he can see his daughter, and Yana tells him no. Yana tells her no. So the sister thinks that if he would have called, then it might have been a different outcome.
Now, that's the thing that I don't know if I agree with the sister with the outcome part, but I agree that he should have called. First of all, he should pull up. Like, if we in the same city right now, right, I'm not asking to take her with me back to where I live. I'm in town, right? So I'm going to at least let my child see that I'm making the effort to basically, you know what? I'm trying to see you while I'm in town. But at the end of the day, here's the truth about it. People do not really care that much about it, because I agree with Zaria only for this, even though I feel like, hey, Zaria, you are actually the reason why most of this stuff is happening, because you are a hellion yourself. Hey, Troy, go to court. Like it's really that simple. I don't understand these guys or these people that's talking about something. I'm trying to see my kid and she ain't trying to let me see my kid. then take her to court. Like I really don't understand.
Make it your business
Make
to
it
see
your
your
business
child.
to see your child, to where, you know what, you will let me see my kid, or else there will be repercussions for you. So like, that's why I'm like, just take her to court if it's that hard. Or at the end of the day, Troy needs to understand that, hey, you can't middleman this thing. You got to continuously talk to Yana, and I don't see why he don't use this opportunity to go talk to her face to face compared to talking to her at his house, because, you know, Zaria gonna be on your back. And so I'm like, this is the time for you to actually try to build a bridge to where, you know what, I'm trying to basically mend it so I can see my baby. But you know what, let's see how serious he is. Let's see, does he go to court and spend money to actually see his child if he cared that much, besides putting the accountability solely on, you know, the baby mother.
Yeah, and I will say that, yes, he should have called. Even if she would have said no, keep calling, keep making the effort.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you're not getting through, then go to court. Like, this isn't a thing to where she can legally keep your child from you.
No.
Like, go through the processes that you need to do in order to see your child. And I get it. He's grieving. He's going through a hard time. Then make your next step therapy.
Yeah.
And until you can get your mind right to actually get into the fight for your kid, then that's where you need to be. So
facts.
We move on to Leticia and Keith. He finished his time at the halfway house and only has to check in with the PO for occasional meetings.
Okay.
They get to have the home alone tonight, so she's looking forward to making some babies. Keith said someone was texting, catfishing him. It was some girl named Stephanie that sent him some pictures out the blue. Leticia wasn't really believing it, but Keith uses the mindset of, well, I told you, I'm not hiding it. And he said, you know, I texted her back that she had the wrong number. She tells him to stop responding because he had responded multiple days and putting his number out everywhere for people to reach out to him. So they're good. They end up going to start making them babies, and in the confessional, his phone is blowing up.
Of course. I own you now. Now you're in my house. Now you're in my prison. And now she's like, you know, who's that calling you? Who's this or that? And the thing about it is, I don't understand why she felt like, the thing about it, she knew that he was going to be this type of guy, because she had a problem when he was like, oh, it's co-ed, because you knew the type of guy that potentially he might be, right? You knew that you wasn't the only one, and possibly you wasn't never going to be the only one. So like with them, to me, it's just a nasty relationship. It's just based off of lust and sex and things like that and babies, but nothing really a strong foundation at all. Like the daughter just finding out that's not her real daddy. So like, y'all really not even really doing anything to really push the relationship besides just having sex.
Yeah.
You know?
So Kiana, Damodrick, and Jawaila.
My favorite three.
Kiana calls a friend and says that she has these false accusations against her about this vandalism for this car.
Okay.
Damodrick comes back from his talk with Jawaila, and she didn't see anything. She doesn't know who did it, is what he's trying to tell Kiana.
Okay.
Kiana is standing on Jawaila did it herself, and she didn't spend those $600 on those ugly tires.
Okay.
He's willing to pay for the tires if he can make the situation go away. And Kiana doesn't think that's smart, because essentially she doesn't want them to look guilty. They're not guilty, and Jawaila could take the money and run and still press charges.
Kiana thinks she's so smart. She's like, you know what? You can fool other people, but you can't fool me. And I'm just like, you didn't do the Carfax on Jawaila. You didn't check to see if she had other people that she's beefing with. In her life, she's only beefing with one person.
Yeah.
Enough to vandalize the car, right? So here's the thing about it. I do not expect her to admit on camera that she did a crime. So we are going to get, I didn't do this. Why does she think I did this? You didn't spend $600 on them tires and things of that nature. Don't give her money. Don't pay her back because it's going to make us look guilty. Here's the thing about it. You should have thought of that, allegedly, before you went and did whatever you did to that woman's car.
Because you did that. Come on now.
Stop it.
And then you want to stick with the story she did it herself. Like, I feel like that's even dumber than like, just say that you don't know who did it and it wasn't you. But you say she did it herself to try to get at us. So you think you're in this tit for tat match with her, and she's supposed to just keep going back and forth with you. She's like, no, I had to spend all this money. I'm getting the police involved. Get out of here.
I'm telling you this right now. If I did vandalize my own car, the only thing I'm doing is putting spray paint that washes off.
Exactly. I'm not splitting
my tires. You know how much tires cost?
Yes.
Listen here, $600 is a deal. You get what
and
I'm
I don't know
saying?
why she's talking about the tires like they ugly. Are tires supposed to be cute? Like, Kiana just doesn't do it for me.
Well, there is such thing as ugly tires, though.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
So it's Jawaila's son's birthday today. Kiana is not letting her kids go.
Okay.
She is willing to let Jawaila's son come to her house to spend the night another time.
I don't understand the logic in that.
I don't either.
But okay.
So she sends Damodrick and the kids with cupcakes. She actually forgot to drop the cupcakes off, so she had to spin the block to drop off the cupcakes. At the same time, Jawaila has to go out to get their jacket. Thankfully, they don't run into each other. But Jawaila's like, look, essentially we're dealing with the same dude, so we're going to see each other, and if I gotta go get my jacket, if I run into her, it is what it is. But Damodrick is trying to stop them from having to run into each other. And
now that we kind of, and I'm gonna tell you why he wanted to stop it. I'm gonna tell you why he wanted to stop it. Should I say it now? No, not now. I'm gonna wait. But the whole thing about it is, if I'm beefing with you and you slash my tires and things like that, you cannot make cupcakes for me.
No, I'm actually throwing them away.
No, like I don't.
Because I think there's poison.
Exactly, you're trying to kill me.
I think you got razor blades in the cupcakes.
Exactly. Keep going.
So his parents don't think it's right that Kiana couldn't come to the party. Jawaila said that her kids won't go to her kids' parties either if she doesn't have her kids come to mine.
Tit for tat.
Damodrick is the problem, Jawaila feels like, and she doesn't feel like she's the problem. She says, why let her come when we're still smashing? That's crazy. And he says that he's not going to participate in her BS.
Stop right there. That's changed my opinion about the whole her going to the car thing. When she was going to the car saying she needed to go to the car, and Damodrick was like, I'll go. I'll like show me where your keys are, things like that. I'm thinking he just want to keep the peace. He don't want them to see each other because they gonna start fighting. No, he didn't want Jawaila to potentially let the cat out the bag and saying me and Damodrick still effing. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. So and here's the thing about it, as we're gonna see, right? Jawaila and Damodrick are talking to each other, and they are talking to each other kind of like face to face. I ain't gonna hold you. I felt sexual tension between the two. Like they arguing, but it's like this is how they talk. But at the end of the day, even though she's standing on business or whatever business she thinks she's standing on because she's still sleeping with the guy, it's like she's like, I'm going to defend myself against your crazy girlfriend. But at the end of the day, when I want to have you, she said this episodes ago. When I want to have you, I can. And truth be told, I'm on Jawaila's side. I'm on Jawaila's side because to me, I'm like Jawaila's crazy. But she's less crazy than Q. So I'm just going to go with the less crazy girl. Yeah.
So his dad is talking to him saying, look, your baby mom still likes you. Apparently you've been throwing that sugar D around. And Damodrick says, well, not lately. He's been trying. Whatever that means. Yeah. So Damodrick gives Jawaila the money for the tires, and she said, some other stuff got messed up too, and she took the money and she is not dropping the charges.
No, she's like, and she's basically like, listen, I'm gonna stand on business. And truth be told, I would too, because if someone really did vandalize my car that way, the least you could do is give me $600.
Exactly.
But the most I could do is send your girl to jail. and I'm going to do the most. Yeah. But it's very evident that they still like each other. I see more chemistry with them than I see with Damodrick and Q.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that when it comes to the whole situation that Jawaila, yes, continue to press charges. This girl can't do stuff and think that nothing is going to happen to her. Like, it was enough for her to post your picture on her page, which was stupid. I'm just like, Kiana is just not smart. Like, the way that she goes about things, it all points to you. Like this is crazy. So yeah, you're going to get the repercussions of your actions, and it is what it is.
Anything else?
That's all I got.
We need you to subscribe, like, share, comment. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm liking this season. This is probably my favorite season so far. We see y'all.
Bye.